George Kittle and Travis Kelce had a tight end university outside of Nashville for some of the best tight ends to learn the tricks of the trade. Meanwhile, Von Miller might be the originator as he has held a pass rush summit for the last 5 years. All the best defensive linemen show off their best moves. And that meant someone had to get the offensive linemen together to make sure they weren't losing any ground on those pass rushers. That man joins us now. It's a pleasure to be joined by Eagles All-Pro right tackle and Super Bowl champion Lane Johnson from the 4th annual O-Line Mastermind Summit. Lane, thanks for joining us. What can you tell us about the origins of this summit?
Well, it came from an idea from a good friend, Duke Manyweather, who trains offensive linemen year-round. So he came up with that a few years ago. We wanted to get guys from around the league to come in a few weeks before camp starts, break down film of opposing defensive ends and defensive tackles, and really just discuss football and kind of get back in that mode before camp starts. So it's been really successful the past few years. I think the number's up to 150 this year. I think it was around 70 last year. So good turnout, and O-line coaches here. So a lot of guys just talking ball.
Hey, what's up, Lane? It's Damien Woody, man. Hey, we know the Von Miller has his pass rushing camp with all those guys, all the top pass rushers in the league. What are you guys trying to get out of with this O-line summit, going up against all those pass rushers?
I think what we can get from this is I feel like every player has their own certain style of play, and it's an art form. So there's many ways to attack a defender, and I think getting all these guys here and allowing them to discuss their plan of attack, how they go about their work week, how they practice. And I think guys can just take bits and pieces from people's games and implement it into theirs. And so that's probably been the biggest factor so far. And really just a great way to get the guys talking and get some on-field work too.
Lane, you talked about how you guys are watching tons of film of the best on defense in the NFL. Are there some guys that have come to mind as some of the most feared pass rushers to face on Sundays?
Well, I'll say Aaron Donald's pretty far up there. Luckily, I don't go against him that much. He's with the guards a lot, but you got the Von Millers, the Chandler Jones, the Khalil Macks, the Marcus Lawrence, guys like that, Joey Bosa's, the Bosa brothers. So really, I mean, we're going to be showing a lot of guys, but really, there is no end-all, be-all. We're trying to get a breakdown on these guys and try to help us out a little bit. Something to take to camp.
150 offensive linemen is incredible. Let's turn to your current team, the Eagles. We saw you were excited about Jalen Hurts, and here's what you said, quote, the things he can do on the field. He can scramble outside of the pocket. When that happens, man, it makes it a little easier for the offensive line. Whenever you have a mobile quarterback back there, the pass rushers approach the pass rush a little bit differently. Instead of maybe running the hoop, they're taught not to break contain, because if they do, he can scramble for 10 or 15 and get a quick first down. Can you take us inside what it was like during the second half of last season with all that turmoil and change at quarterback for you guys?
Yeah, I was sidelined with the injury, but from what I saw, I felt like he handled it well. He was put into really uncertain positions, but when he played well and showed flashes. So it's been a good offseason for us as a team, for Jalen. And I know he's ready to get into camp and get the ball rolling, and get a full season under his belt. So we're all excited and really just kind of waiting to see what happens.
You've got a new head coach this year, which is Nick Sirianni. What are your first impressions of him as he enters his first season, not just as your head coach, but an NFL head coach?
He's taking a great command of the team early on. I think what I appreciate about him most is he holds everybody accountable. So when we go to practice, it doesn't matter if you're a veteran, a rookie, first day. If you're making mistakes, he'll put you on the board. And not to call you out, but really to kind of get you better. And I think what that shows, if he can do that with veterans, then the younger guys will come along as well. So that's been my impression early on. It's been a lot of fun and really a lot of energy. So, but moving forward, man, we have a lot to prove.
Hey, Lane, man, enough of this football stuff, man. I want to talk about the real athletes as far as the offensive line is concerned. I know we got a highlight from you posting on social media, you dunking the ball. Take us through why offensive linemen are the best athletes on the field with this dunk.
I would say the defensive ends are probably maybe number one, I mean, tackles, I mean, you look across the league, you see guys like Trent Williams. A guy that I like watching growing up was Joe Staley. People don't know this about him, is that he ran the 200, I believe, 21 seconds or somewhere around there. So really fast, really explosive. So, I mean, you get these guys on the edges, you got to have some quick feet. So, and a lot of guys have ex-track backgrounds, ex-basketball backgrounds. And so I wish I was still playing basketball. I think it's a little bit easier on your body, but it turned out all right.
Well, we here at NFL Live are going to make sure that we continue to give lots of love to the offensive lineman who can certainly move. And we thank you, Lane Johnson. Again, Eagles all-pro right tackle and the man behind, at least one of the two men behind the O-Line Mastermind Summit. Congrats on all the success there, and best of luck this season.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And right on time, let's get into some of those plays. We said we're going to give love to the offensive linemen, so we're going to give you the top 5 most athletic offensive line accomplishments. We start, Damien, with Donald Penn.
Man, Phil, check this out, man. We always got to show the big boys love. Look at this. Tip-up pass right there to Donald Penn. But, hey, RC, look at the big man rolling right there. We out here.
Hey.
We out here rolling with the ball.
We gotta make a cut, though, Woody. Woody, he got to make a cut.
No,
right here, he got to make the move.
We not built for that.
Hey,
We not built for all that.
It's not necessarily what you do, but how you celebrate. Here's Quentin Nelson, RC.
Hey, this is beautiful. Watch. It's not about the run. Does he just back in? Does he even get in at all? I don't know. But let's go back to the frat party. Back at ND. This is how we used to do it with the cake stand. It feels like we're in old school.
Come on now. Here, Damien, now from a guy simulating drinking beer to a guy actually drinking beer, David Bakhtiari.
Now, see, Phil, this is right up my wheelhouse right here. Look at how he's crushing these beers. Ain't no sipping. It ain't like Aaron Rodgers, like it's some wine. We talking about crushing beers right here. That's me all the way.
Old school here, RC, Jumbo Elliott making it count with the game on the line.
Hey, I still remember this. This was a big-time play. This was back when the Jets were actually in some contention. He tried to fumble it. He tried to bumble it. It was a bobble, but look at the concentration and the finish and the amazement in his eyes for being on the Jumbotron.
Damien, the Hall of Fame play by Dan Connolly almost 10 years ago.
Oh, look, first of all, I love the ball security he had. Both arms wrapped in the ball, but then he switched it.
He was
Look
scared,
at that. He got the ball in the right arm. You know what I mean? He got a stiff arm. Look at that man rolling, RC. Big
He
boy
was trying
rolling,
to
almost
trying
scored
to
a
fall
touchdown.
the first 10 yards. He was looking to get tackled in the first 10 yards. He couldn't believe it got that wide open. And I don't even remember who 26 is, but how you let that man outrun you?
Oh, man, that play was so glorious. I could watch that for the rest of the time that we have here on NFL Live. Sadly, we have to talk about other things, as Jerry's World will be featured on this year's